Hello everyone and welcome to Frankie and BMW. My name is Gheorghe Nacu, I'm the product genius here at Frankie and BMW on the Nice Road, and I'm here to take you through a few tips on how to charge your 330e and also how to get better efficiency out of the new 330e. This will also apply to the previous F30 model hybrid. So without further ado, I'll start by showing you how to actually plug in the car and what the color designations mean on the charging. So if you come around, on the front left of this car, even on the previous model as well, it's located on the front left, which is your charging flap. Push it to open. From there on, you'll get a white indication light, meaning that the car is ready to accept the charge. What you do then is you plug in the cable, and then the car will go to yellow, which means it's initializing its charge, and blue, then flashing pulsating blue, is its charging. Once you lock the car, after a few seconds, the light will disappear. That does not mean that the car has stopped charging. It just means it's gone to a sleep mode. It's still taking a charge. However, if that light is turning red, then you have an issue. That means the car is not charging. I find 90% of the time there's an issue with the charging station or the cable. Quite rarely it's the car, but if you've swapped cables and you've swapped charging stations, you're still getting a red light, then I'd advise contacting your local dealer. If you're getting a green light on this, that means the car is fully charged, you can unplug it, and from there on, continue with your journey. You'll notice the cable magnetizes itself in and you can't actually pull it out. The only way to actually unplug this cable now is actually unlocking your car. The light will turn back to white and you can safely remove the charging cable and close the flap. Now, and I'll show you the technology inside the car just so you know what you're doing with the computers. Now that we're inside the 330e, this is our demo model. I'll take you through some of the features, basically what the electric side of this car means and how to get the best efficiency out of the 330 previous model or the new model. If you have the new model, most likely you have the live digital cockpit, which is the digital display. Anything annotated in blue on this screen is technically electrical power. So up to 40% throttle input is fully electric, anything above that is petrol hybrid, and anything up to 110 kilometers an hour is also going to be done in electric, unless you push the throttle past 40%, in which case the car will give you all of the power that it has. These cars are standard at 252 horsepower. You notice as I go into electric mode, the dashboard actually changes around and goes up to 140 kilometers an hour in blue and 60% throttle input. You're only on electric here, so the car gives you all of the electric power that it has, and of course the annotations will change. On the previous model you're not going to have these designations, but the same 40% throttle input still applies, and you'll realize that if you push it more, it kicks in the petrol engine. From here on, these cars are also reliant on their sat-nav systems. The sat-nav systems on these cars operates in the manner that it feeds the traffic information to both engines once you tell it where you're going. So you do have to tell the car your final destination. Once you do that, the traffic information is considered, and if there's going to be any red on our journey, the car will make sure to put you on electric where you're going to have the heaviest traffic, meaning that you're going to get the best efficiency out of the car and not traveling in petrol mode when technically you're going to be in heavy traffic. That's one way of getting the efficiency up on these cars, is using the sat-nav system. From there on as well, when you are plugging the car in, go to car, plan and charging, and you can choose to charge immediately, meaning that as soon as you plug the car in, the car will start taking a charge. Otherwise, select your charge in a time slot. Once you select the departure time, you have 3 different schedules that you can choose your days of the week and a single once-off schedule at the top, or once-off time. So once you select this, the car will make sure to be charged for that time. Let's say it'll be 7 o'clock in the morning that I'm leaving for work. The car will make sure to have the interior warmed up if you wanted to, and as well as the battery pack warmed up. The battery packs on these cars are affected by colder or hotter temperatures. So anything below or above 20 to 25 degrees, the car will use its own electricity to cool or warm up the battery pack to the efficiency temperature. And then from there on, you will drop a charge. Whereas if you do this and tell what time you're going, the car will make sure to have the battery pack warmed up, the interior preconditioned off the mains electricity, and still leave you with 100% battery charge, and you'll get better range off the car. And of course, if you do have a certain schedule, for example, your days of the week can also be selected here, Monday to Sunday. And once you've finished setting up your departure schedule, you can also set up your charging current. We recommend that if you're using The 3-pin cable for your household charger, or plugging it into a household plug, use up to a 6 amp, because that does hugely depend on how many utilities you have plugged in, and it does take a bit of a toll. But if you're using the fast charging cable, you can go up to 16 amps, which will charge the car a bit faster, of course, and from there on leave it at 16 amps and then choose your departure schedule or in a time slot, or charge immediately, of course. Now that's how you charge these cars, and the best way, of course, is plugging them in to charge them. However, if you are traveling on a long distance trip, from there on what you can do is, if you run out of electricity, driving to wherever you're going, let's say you're doing 100 kilometers, you've run out of electricity 50 kilometers in, what you can do is press your battery control button, which is located just here on the new cars. Once you press this button, the car will make sure not to use the battery, and of course you can set your target value to recharge back to 100%, meaning that as you're driving, the car will start recharging the battery pack and give you back to 100% of electricity. You'll use a slight bit more fuel because you're going on full petrol here, but once you have recharged your battery, you can technically jump back to hybrid mode and then go on with your efficiency from there. On the older F30 models, you'll have an e-drive button just under the gear lever. If you press the e-drive button, keep cycling through it from auto e-drive to battery control, in which case from there on you'll be able to also recharge the battery. It won't recharge as much or as fast as the new cars, but it will still give you back some charge and stop using the battery. From there on, if you do want to go to full electric, you have a full electric mode. Otherwise, most of the time you will be an auto hybrid, pressing it here, telling the sat-nav where you're going, and you'll get the best efficiency out of these cars. Now, that's how you essentially get the best efficiency out of a 330e. You'll find that with the X5 45e, you can also do exactly the same. The buttons are no different, and the layout of the menu is literally the same. So what you can do is you choose your battery control, choose your schedule and your departure time, of course, and from there on tell the sat-nav where you're going to get the best efficiency out of these cars. Now, that's the 330e. I'll do another video on the X5 just in case anybody wants to see the X5 on its own. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and stay tuned for more videos, guys. That's us at Frankie and BMW. Thank you very much.